$10,000. That's not really how that's going to work. There might be a little back and forth way to recover that if the other spouse is going to keep the benefits of that labor. In other words, are they going to keep the house? They're going to buy the HVAC contributor out? And if so, do they have to put a little bit more back on this side since they are keeping the benefits of that labor? But beyond that, it's very difficult to compensate for something that's not a capital contribution, that doesn't have like hard expenses. Example, if you're a custom craftsman and you took out, very common French doors, very big in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. A lot of houses had French doors. You take all those out and you put in sliding barn style doors. Very popular these days. How do you pay back the labor for the sliding barn style doors? That's the difficult part. And, without the receipts for that, that's going to be considered, again, part of the capital contribution. Now, again, one spouse keeping the benefit of that, right? You're not selling the property, not liquidating the asset. One spouse keeps the benefit of those sliding new, very fancy, great looking barn doors. Well, then that's something you might be able to get some compensation back on. So nothing's perfect, nothing's simple in this just and right division. That's why it's just and right. That's not why it's a hard 50-50 rule, because there might have to be some give and take. And, the more you can work out a compromise, right, where you give up some certain rights to you have an agreement you can live with, that's a whole lot better than going down to the courthouse and getting a deal that you might not be able to live with, right? And fair is the only 4-letter word that, cannot use in this family law context. Fair happens in Dallas in the fall. It doesn't happen in family law. It's just and right division, not fair. So it's reasonable, right, under the standards of our law set by the legislature in Austin. So I hope that this video was somehow insightful and helpful. I think it comes up a lot, especially as we have a lot of people these days, and for good reason, who are going into a trade, right? Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs, big reason for that. Thank you, Mike, for your hard work. But showing that there's a whole lot more ability to provide and survive and have a super life from being a craftsman, from being a tradesman. And that being said, when it comes to that contribution of one of those spouses who is a craftsman, is a tradesman, how do you get that, right? How do you get that back out of the just and right division of the community estate? It's hard. It's harder to do that because you don't have a solid bill, right? You can't just look at the expenses for, that's my HVAC at cost, right? So it was $4,000. Well, that can easily be calculated, right? But the contribution of your time, that's the hard one, right? Because there's usually not an invoice for that. Anyhow, hope this has been some help. Any questions, comments, hit me up, chat@ashmorelawfirm.com, chat@ashmorelawfirm.com.